And away we go. It is the Aftermath, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken right here on BearcatJournal.com. Go see our good friends at Galactic Fried Chicken. They're located in Dayton, Kentucky, right down the street from Newport on the Levee. So easy access right across the 471 bridge. They have the best fried chicken in Cincinnati, the best chicken tenders. I love the chicken dunkers. Great French fries, coleslaw. The fried pickles are amazing. And, of course, the galactic sauce is out of this world. So go see our good friends at Galactic Fried Chicken. Enjoy yourself some galactic goodness. All right, Aaron, it's another win. How about that for the Bearcats? 67-57 over Baylor. They built a quick double-digit lead early. The lead was double digits most of the second half for a large portion of this game. Cincinnati played a lot of zone. No Sean Abayev, out with an injury. Doesn't sound like we're going to see him for a little bit at least. Wes kind of asked if it was day-to-day, week-to-week. Sounded like it's probably going to be a little bit before Sean's back. He was in a boot on crutches. The crutches are always like, if they're in a boot, like a lot of times that's more precautionary. If they're on crutches and the boot, usually not great. So hopefully get him back a little sooner than later. But no Buck Harris, out with an illness. Got him a couple IVs before the game, but he couldn't go. Kirk Creesa was dinged up. Tyler McKinley was dinged up. If you wanted a shortened rotation, you absolutely got it tonight. The starters all right in that 30-minute range with 33 for Day-Day, 36 for Jizzle, 37 for Baba, 30 for Celestine, 28 for Chom. So they went with their top guys. And look, let's be honest. That wasn't the most aesthetically pleasing game. Neither of those teams are all that good. But Cincinnati did a really good job defensively. They made things difficult for Cam Carr. He scored 4 points. It wasn't a good day for Yusufu. He ended up with 16, but 6 of 14 from the floor, 2 of 6 from 3. Made him work for it. And they slowed down the Baylor offense. Baylor shot 35% from the floor, 23% from 3, 55% from the free throw line. Kind of a rock fight. Felt like an old Big East game a little bit. And Cincinnati was able to get the home victory. And we celebrate home victories. We celebrate victories here, Aaron, because they're 11-10. And they're not always easy to come by. Aaron, take the floor.
Good to see a nice little bounce back game from Jizzle James. Day-Day scored more in this game than he did in the last two combined. So not a fantastic shooting night for him, but he did enough. Baba was a menace on the boards, just ridiculous with 17, 5 offensive. You got to love that from him. But it's amazing what happens when you take care of the ball. It seemed to me anyway, especially in the first half, they were, I thought, pretty selective with their shots. They made even probably the first 10 minutes of the second half still really selective. I thought that they made the extra pass far more often to go from good look to great look, and just found a guy wide open more often than not. Some of them went down. A lot of them didn't. But they
didn't, but
but they did enough to win, and they protected a lead. I mean, Baylor gave a little fight there. Scott Drew, this season is catching up to Scott Drew. I don't know that I've seen a coach on in the field of play that far into the field of play since Mike Tomlin tripped the returner Years ago.
That was bullshit. Let's be honest.
It was crazy. You should have been tossed. That was crazy. He's like 4 or 5 feet into the field, into the court, and stopping a referee to yell at him. What are you doing?
During a fast break, you can, as a referee, you cannot blow your whistle and stop a fast break because the other team's coach tried to set a screen on the official. Like, what are we doing? It was Day and Chom, and there was nobody else past half court. That's an easy 2 points. An easy 2 points. And at that point, Cincinnati was not exactly lighting the nets on fire offensively. That game, and Cincinnati didn't hit a field goal the last 7:40 or whatever of the game. They did not make a field goal the last 7:40 of the game. They still won by 10. Think about that. If Baylor would have made any shots at all, that thing would have got close. And not allowing that fast break to happen could have been a monstrous change in momentum in that game.
That was
Dave, you're on there's 2 YouTube versions of this podcast now. One is for people with cell phones, and then one is the normal layout. Try the other one, is what I would suggest. You've got the cell phone version, I would think, right now. At one point over the last 4:30, they, like I said, they didn't score a field goal over the last 7.5 to almost 8 minutes. So, that could have been a big factor in the outcome of that game. Absolutely. Keep going there.
Crazy. I loved the first 5 seconds of the game, starting off with an alley-oop. I thought that was amazing. That was, I don't know that I've seen a start like that, maybe ever. To go from tip to oop in 5 seconds.
The thing is, usually Baba wins the tip, or Chom wins the tip, and it goes in the backcourt, and then they start like on the other side of half court. But really, like, Baylor won the tip in terms of where the ball went, but Day just grabbed it and then had the wherewithal to go straight to the rim. Saw Baba right next to him, throw it up for a lob, bang, jizzle 3, get another bucket. All of a sudden, you got 7 points on the first 3 trips. So yeah, there was a bunch of scouts there. They were not drooling over Jordy, although we'll get to that. But Jordy gave some good minutes tonight. Free Jordy Rodriguez.
His first segment was great. His second segment was terrible. In the second half, terrible. But
I disagree.
He was good.
Offensively, it wasn't great, but he was a pest defensively. He was getting his hands on the ball. He was making plays, doing the things that you need a reserve wing to come in and do. And the more, if you play him a little bit more, then maybe the shot's going to start falling. If you're watching on Roku, click down, then right twice. Okay, I don't know what that means.
He's guiding people on how to watch the landscape as opposed to the cell phone.
Okay. But I will tell you this. I had one scout that I've accumulated some guys that have ended up in the scouting world that are friends. One of them was there tonight. He said his takeaway from tonight, and he hadn't been, I don't think I've seen him for like 2 months. So he had been here late November, early December. Baba made himself a couple $1 million with his, because look, like, there was a bunch of scouts there for Carr and Yosefu. And Baba was the best player on the floor all night.
Without question.
And that goes a long way. And, a lot of the questions that scouts have had on Baba is motor. And that has not been a problem here. Like, he has played hard nonstop since he's been here. So, yeah, he made a very strong impression. And look, the couple things that translate. If you can rebound, if you can pass,
Yeah.
and if you can defend, you can work yourself onto an NBA roster. And Baba's not a great shooter, but he runs the floor hard. He can finish in transition, and he can do those other things well. There's a place for you in the NBA if you're 6'11" and you can do all those things.
Yeah. But I don't know. All in all, I mean, Mustafa Cham, he had a pretty good game.
Yeah.
Spread out. It wasn't one half. He did it both halves. I thought his effort looked pretty good. Again, 4 rebounds. I want more selfishly. Again, he's just the tallest guy out there.
Again, though, tonight, Baba took them all. He took all of the defensive rebounds.
Yeah, well, I can't argue that.
Cham, a big part of it, he's really good in the middle of the zone, man. Like from 15 feet and in, his touch is so soft. He can hit that little one-handed, it's not a hook shot, but kind of the one-handed little floater. He can hit the 15-footer. He's got really soft touch from 8 to 15 feet. He wasn't saying Baba was bad, Hunter. He was saying Jordy's second rotation.
He was making your point though, that Baba had them all. So
yeah, he did.
There was Baba had 17. There were still 21 other rebounds, and offensively, he only had 1. He could have got some more.
I agree. Like he needs to be in that 6-7 rebound range every game, like on average. He spends too many games at like 3 or 4. I agree.
It bothers me. I wonder how much of his rebounding has been boosted from the non-con as far as his average. But
yeah. Why does Baylor suck so bad? They don't have a good roster. Like Scott Drew did not do a good job. They replaced their whole roster. Again, that's not fun to do. It's not easy. And you don't have any continuity.
They have a lot of injuries too.
I mean, so does Cincinnati.
Look, I'm not arguing that we don't have a lot of injuries. It's just that's also why they're really bad, though, is they've been decimated by injuries as well. I think they said 5 guys out that are in their normal rotation. That's a lot of dudes.
But your main 2 guys are there. Like you got to be a little bit better than what they're 1-7 in the Big 12.
I'm very aware.
Yosefu and Carr are 2 of the offensive scorers in the league, and they can't get anything else really around them. Buck was sick.
Yeah, he had 2 IVs before the game, I read. He just couldn't go. McKinley, though, you hope that his knee can get right.
It's not. I mean, Wes said he missed the entire second. I
know.
I talked to Tyler before the game, and you could tell he's struggling with it. I think some of it probably the cold. Like you got a bulky knee and it's 0 degrees. It's not fun getting that thing mobile,
warmed up.
Yeah.
So I did notice. I did notice though in the post game, Wes talked about, and I thought that this was for all the things we talk about, Wes game planning and lack thereof. In this game, he did talk about how they game planned at least a little bit yesterday, and it turned out to be very important, is that they game planned for the zone that Baylor hasn't been playing much of this entire conference slate. And they've seen enough of Scott Drew at this point in the last several years that they kind of predicted it was coming, and it definitely came, and they were able to overcome and respond to it because they had practiced it yesterday for an entire segment. So I thought that was we do knock the guy for plenty, but he did game plan well enough for this one, and having the foresight of the zone defense they would be eventually switching to, and they switched to it quite a bit, and Cincinnati was able to overcome.
They just put a video on Twitter. Actually, Aaron, that opening tip was a play. I thought Baylor tipped it back. Cham, they had a video of Wes drawing it up before they took the floor. Day-Day's going to break. Chom tips it to Day-Day. Day-Day throws the lob to Baba. So that was actually a design play off of the tip, which you just do not see very often.
I didn't know he actually drew up plays offensively very often. So
Hardy, har.
Look, man, I'm still bitter about what 3 games ago, where at the half they have like 12 seconds and do nothing at all and shoot it anyway.
Okay. Being still mad about something that happened 2 weeks ago.
I hold grudges. I hold grudges.
It's a wild deal. It's a wild deal. No, it's not, Dylan. Again, you, like Aaron, make yourself sound foolish just because they're not good at putting the ball in the basket on these plays. Does not mean not plays being drawn up.
We make
I know. Jokes are supposed to be funny.
Someone's gotta be
the but defensively, especially without Buck and having a pretty shortened rotation and having Kip Kissinger, and how about my biggest thing of the game? They played so much better than Baylor tonight that Kip Kissinger and Tony Padilla weren't even really that much of a factor.
That's a breath of fresh air, if we're being honest.
Because those two are on the Mount Rushmore of we suck at refereeing college basketball.
No, you'll get no argument here on that point. They did make sure though to get to the mic about as much as they could.
Yeah, not as much as the other jerk off that I don't like.
No,
but
correct.
They didn't give any soliloquies.
There wasn't a referee show at the mic. And now,
yeah. Yeah. How many more wins we thinking this year? I wish I could tell you, KF. I think there's home games that are winnable. They've got West Virginia, they've got Utah, they've got UCF, they've got Kansas State on the road. There's some winnable games left, but on the road, man, if they don't get that Kansas State game, the odds are, I mean, it's what? Houston, Kansas, yes. Texas Tech.
Yes.
And TCU.
Correct.
And TCU's significantly better at home than they are on the road. So road wins are going to be really hard to come by.
Cincinnati's significantly worse on the road than they are at home.
Jizzle and Day-Day's splits this year, home road, are brutal. But give Jizzle credit, 5 out of 6 from 3. The rest of the team was like 3 of 23 or whatever. Yeah. So they desperately needed that 5 out of 6 from Jizzle. Got a good showing from him. Baba was great. Chom was really good in the middle of the zone. And Baylor really couldn't ever get anything going offensively.
No, I don't know. I'm not accustomed. I don't know if anyone is accustomed to seeing Baylor play this terribly.
Offensively, yeah. Like they're not a good defensive team by any stretch of the imagination this year. Their offense is still usually pretty good, but it's been Carr and Yosefu that have really, generated most of their offense. And when you hold one of the, it's like, when Day-Day and Jizzle don't play well, then this offense really, really struggles. If one of those two guys doesn't play well, Baylor's offense is in a little bit of a world of hurt. Houston free win. Yeah.
I was laughing at Halveen and Najee matching up well. Najee is not good. How was that guy drafted?
I don't know. That's why I've been annoyed with you making a thing out of it. The guy's not a good basketball player.
It just opened the door for what happened in Alabama. That's why I've made a thing of it. If that doesn't happen, I don't know that Alabama goes and does what anyway.
Okay. No, they still do. But either way. The crazy thing is UC lost most of the relevant stats. Baylor had more rebounds, more offensive rebounds, more defensive rebounds. Second chance points were the same. Baylor had more bench points. They had 10 more points in the paint. They had more fast break points. But they couldn't buy a shot. And I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. It kind of sucks because there's no energy in the arena, really. Everybody's just kind of like.
How many fans were there tonight?
Probably about 9,000 or so. I don't know if it says, but probably 8,000 or 9,000.
I saw pictures that people had taken, and of course, it was early, and that's never really doing the arena justice. But it did not look very full, particularly in the student section.
The student section actually was full. 99.82 is the attendance. So just under 10,000.
Generous.
No, I mean, being there, the only thing that was really empty were the upper corners. Okay. It looked a lot like a buy game, kind of, where you've got the pyramid look of the crowd up top, and those two upper corners are.
It played like a buy game. It played like a buy game too.
It kind of did, man. They're just it's. I hate it because there's just not any juice in you don't. I don't know. I actually for 10 minutes of the second half, I sat and talked to my buddy that's an NBA scout, and it didn't really miss anything. Nobody really stood up. Nobody made any noise. Nobody, everybody was just kind of sitting there shooting the shit, talking to the person next to him more than anything.
Well, 6:30 tips suck.
I love it.
I'm sure you do, but I didn't finish watching the first half until about 10 minutes before we started this podcast. Because that's how long it took for Fox to upload the video, and then Fox, as opposed to some of the other ones, you can't fast forward through the commercial breaks. So that was fun. But
if Fox does this with FS1 does this most of their weeknight games to get in a different window than ESPN 7 and 9. So Fox will start at 6:30 and 8:30 so that they're on a little bit of a different schedule.
Wouldn't have cared so much if I could have started at the beginning of the game, but instead I had to start at halftime.
Yeah,
but whatever. That's just me.
Yeah. Aaron problems.
The good old plus. You can start at the beginning of the game and then catch up. You can't do that on the Fox Sports app.
Yeah. You got anything else about the game to talk about?
I enjoyed the Dan boos for those who were in attendance. Dan getting booed every time he touched the ball. That was good. Funny. He said he was. It
wasn't distasteful.
No, I didn't think so either. He said he was gonna use it as juice. I guess he did. He got 10 and 7. Okay, fair enough, Dan. And then Wes apparently made love in his ear at the handshake line because
that's his son.
That was a long talk. My goodness. You just felt bad for the guys who got stuck behind Dan. As they're just standing there not knowing what to do.
We just played like ass and lost by 10 at Cincinnati.
And we're just stuck here. Wrap it up. Come on, man. Do this over the phone.
The Chappelle Show, wrap it up box.
Something.
Wrap it up. That's another.
With the big hook.
That's the other thing, Justin. Won a Big 12 conference game after being stuck in the desert for 2 extra days. I will give them a lot of credit there. Like that was maybe my biggest worry about this game was you just had, your worst loss of the season. The Arizona State loss was worse than the Eastern Michigan loss. At least Eastern Michigan, you didn't have Baba, you didn't have Celestine. That's a terrible loss, but whatever. Arizona State had lost 7 of 8. Like they were dead in the water. And you go out there and you play like that. Then you get stuck. You're there all day Sunday. You're supposed to come back Saturday night. You're there all day Sunday. You're there half of Monday. They were there so long Monday, they got to practice in Monday morning so that they didn't miss their regular practice on Monday. Then you get on a plane. Then you fly home. You get home Monday evening. Right back to a Tuesday and then a game on Wednesday. For a team that's having this type of season, again, we go back to saying against Arizona State, it felt like they quit. It felt like they just played like ass. This shows it's a team that does fight. Like in the NIL era, this is the type of season where it goes off the rails and you end up 1-7 in conference play instead of 3-4.
Look, I will agree with most of what you said, but we will not agree that Eastern Michigan was a better loss than Arizona State. Eastern Michigan currently sits at 9-12.
Okay. Losing to Arizona State was still worse to me.
In your opinion?
That they played worse against Arizona State than they did against Eastern Michigan.
Even without Baba and Celestine and Slime, you still have a better roster top to bottom. I don't care. But
did this game put Cincinnati in the NCAA tournament? If the answer is no, Wes still has a lot of work to do to keep his job. Like that's the bar. That's the standard. Can they get into the NCAA tournament? If they can't, I think there's probably going to be a change. So hope that answers your question. Took UCF a late 3 to overcome Arizona State at home. UCF's not good, guys. Like I know they're projected in the tournament right now. I've watched them. That's not a good basketball team.
Go beat Houston. Beat Houston on Saturday, and then we have something to talk about. But
no, you don't.
I don't give this team a shot in hell to beat Houston.
No, especially after making them sweat and having a 10-point lead for most of that game.
Kingston Flemings might put up a 50 burger.
Especially if you don't have Buck at 100% to try to at least slow him down.
And especially if Jordy Rodriguez is in there giving extended run.
I like Jordy a lot more than I like Jordy a lot more than you do. And I'll take my basketball acumen one-on-one versus yours.
Okay.
I will. What did you not like about Jordy today?
I'm not saying that.
You have this fuck Jordy like stance about you.
I didn't
what do you
say
not
that.
like about the kid?
I said he had a great first segment. The second segment, I wished he was not on the court.
What was so bad about it?
His shots. They were not good.
That's your problem. That's all you want. He had 2 shots, and because he missed 2 jump shots, you think he sucks. Come on, Aaron.
Brother, I'm over 40. I don't. Everyone could take me in a game of one-on-one.
All right, let's do the thing.
All right, that's fine. Baba Miller, 18 points, 6 of 12 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3. He hit all 6 free throws, only because he got a second chance at one because of a lane violation. But he did hit all 6.
Hey, lane violation. You can't make you got to play by the rules, Aaron.
I'm good with it.
I can be a real Mick asshole to Aaron sometimes. If he was right more often, I wouldn't have to be.
Ed, you would not take me in a game of one-on-one. Get out of here, Ed. 5 offensive, 12 defensive rebounds, giving him 17, 3 assists, 4 fouls, 1 turnover, 1 block, 1 steal. He did it all. 37 minutes played, +9.
He's great. It's great. Had another one of those games where he's clearly the best player on the floor. Did a little, I mean, outside of making a three, did a little bit of everything. Hit, mid-range, hit at the rim, got to the line a little bit, rebounded the hell out of the ball, played really good defense for most of the game, played 37 minutes. Like, we're getting to a point where in a lot, it's not going to happen against AJ Devanza, Darren Peterson, if he's healthy at that time. But in a lot of these middle of the pack to lower of the pack games, Aaron, Baba Miller is usually the best player on the floor.
You love that. Yeah, I thought he was great. Nothing short of great.
Yep.
Could live without that 1-3 that he always seems to find himself taking, but that's nothing compared to everybody else. 17 though for Jizzle James, 6 of 11 from the field, 5 of 6 from 3, 0 for 1 from the line. He's usually good at the line. 4 rebounds, all defensive, 1 assist, 1 foul, 1 turnover. 36 minutes played, +16 to lead all Bearcats.
Really good, especially shooting the ball. Really good day for Jizzle. Like, they needed him to keep that zone. And by the way, that's one of the laziest efforts in a zone I've seen in a long time that Baylor put out there today. They were just kind of standing there, shuffling a little, shuffle this way, shuffle that way, slide to the left, slide to the right.
Every day I'm shuffling.
It was a bad zone, man. It was not, and I'm assuming like they're just not playing a lot of man. Well, against Cincinnati, you know why it is, because they just want you to shoot 3-pointers. They want to pack it in, make you shoot over the top. Jizzle made him pay for it, made 5. But this is one game I would have preferred the Aaron stance, that they got downhill and got the ball inside quite a bit more, because they were effective when they did it, especially early, and they just didn't. It's because Jizzle and Day are not penetrators. Keyshawn Tillery, a couple times, beat his man off the bounce, gets to the teeth of the zone, and now they're chasing, and you can get the ball inside. You can get kick out threes. And too many times they're just pass it here, pass it there. We've not
in a game had 6 layups total. Only 6 layups. 1 of 6 was your total, by the way. 1 of 6 layups.
And what, 1 dunk?
3 dunks.
Okay.
All Baba. I'm pretty sure.
That's right. He had the one off the Jordy pass. But against a zone like that, there should be a bunch of shots at the rim.
I agree. They just love twos. They love long twos. Blows my mind. But yeah, you did take advantage of it enough that Cham and Baba had good nights, but you certainly could have done more.
Yeah, their guards don't play downhill. That's the thing with the zone. You collapse it, and now there's open guys all over the floor because everybody reacts to the ball. And Cincinnati just can't get to 12 feet in the paint and make the zone collapse. It's really frustrating.
All right. Mustafa Cham, 14 points, 6 of 13 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3, 2 of 3 from the line, 1 offensive rebound, 3 defensive, giving him 4 total, 4 fouls, 1 turnover, 1 block, 1 steal, 28 minutes played, +5.
That that little, like I said, that area from 8 to 15 feet, when he operates in there with some space, his touch is outstanding.
Yeah, he had.
Oh yeah, they had the dunk off of the missed three. I remember that. Yeah. But it's not even a baby hook. It's more like a push shot or a floater. The turnaround face up 15-footer that when they give it to him in the middle of the zone is outstanding. He's got some decent post moves. The problem is they're not effective against man-to-man because he doesn't have the lower body strength. Guys can get him off his spot, but against the zone, you can get it to him and somebody has to react to him where he's not just playing man up. And that's why Wes was so confident that they were going to be able to use him back to the basket as a scorer this season. But it just doesn't work as well against man-to-man as it does against zone.
Yeah, I thought he had a good game. Just I want to see him rebound more. That's my only gripe. We'll keep
concur.
We will keep it moving. Not too many guys with points left to talk about. 8 points, though, for Day. 2 of 7 from the field. 2 of 7 from 3. Again, just you got to drive, man. 2 of 2 from the line. 6 rebounds, all defensive. 4 assists, 3 fouls, 1 turnover, 1 steal. 33 minutes played. +4. I believe his 2 free throws were on the Scott Drew Tech. So that was
yes, they were.
Because he certainly did not drive to get to the line.
That's
I don't know what's going on with him. We talked about he needs to be more aggressive. He's settling for threes, and they are not close to the line. He is settling for anywhere between
7-footers,
anywhere between 5 and 10 feet behind the arc. And granted, he hits them from time to time, but you want to see that 2 of 7 move up to 4 of 7, probably be closer to the line. What are you doing?
He's in a funk. I had to make sure I had to make sure nobody was around to hear me say the F word.
Well, but how do you get out of that? We saw Jizzle tonight. Jizzle drove a couple times. He hit a floater.
Well, his threes were at the line, catch and shoot, in rhythm.
Yes.
Like that's shockingly when you're a little closer and you're in rhythm and somebody kicks it out to you and you're able to gather and your feet are square and your shoulders are feet are set and your shoulders are square, the odds that you're going to make the three go up quite a bit. But yeah, he's in a funk. Well,
just drive.
Brad Chendall from the Topeka Times told me to say that.
I don't understand. I miss aggressive Day. Let's see. Jalen Celestine, 5 points, 2 of 10 from the field, 0 of 7 from 3. A little unlike him of late. 1 of 2 from the line, 3 rebounds, all defensive, 4 assists, 1 foul, 30 minutes played, +2.
Look, they got him some really good looks from 3 and he missed them. And then he made 2 insanely tough 2s.
Yeah.
Like Dirk was like, bruh.
The second one was super late in the shot clock too. So he had to take that one. Which he did it to himself. He dribbled around for a while. Twisty turny.
But yeah, he didn't look like he had good feel from 3 tonight. Like his one shot, his arc was up here. One shot, it was a little more. It was like he was trying to almost aim it after he missed the first couple, or like trying to, place it in the basket than just let it go. But that could have been a night where he was 5 of 7 because I thought the looks were good. I didn't think his feel. I didn't think it came out of his hands. He's more than maybe anybody I've seen wear a Bearcat uniform. I can tell off his fingertips whether it's good or not. Like there's just something about like the rotation and the way he lets the ball go that I can tell when it's going in and when he's going to miss, like as he's letting the ball off of his fingertips. I don't know why that is specifically, but I've been able to read his shot almost perfectly.
Maybe you should just start yelling out, ball, ball, ball.
I mean, Keegan, the Iowa State game, watching him shooting pregame, I was like, he's gonna make 4 or 5 threes tonight. Like I could just tell the ball was coming out of his hand. Like
you said, you made a gentleman's bet on it.
No, that was a Abayev. I bet that he was gonna make 2. I can't fix how it comes out of his hand. I'm not a shot doctor. I can't coach it. Just with him, for some reason, I can tell when it's going in the basket and when it's not on the shot. But for whatever reason, he was searching for it tonight.
All right, we got 5 for Keyshawn Tillery, 2 of 3 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3, 1 assist, 1 foul, 4 of the 8 turnovers tonight. 8 minutes played. That's crazy. +2.
Really good segment at the beginning where he had the little 5-point spurt to give him the 10-point lead. I thought that was important in the game flow because it settled everybody down. Didn't do a whole lot the rest. I thought the zone gave him some trouble specifically. He didn't look confident, kind of.
Yeah, well, the one pass that he tried to make and then ended up and down, that was weird. A little uncharacteristic from what we've seen from him. And then he followed that up with another turnover on, I feel like it was the next possession where I don't know what that is.
I'm just gonna get rid of it.
Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, I don't know what the his next possession was where he didn't understand what he was being called for. I think they called him on travel. But yeah, I think that he looked a little confused when he was trying to move the ball.
When he did get downhill, when he did get around the zone and get into the teeth, I thought it was good. But he didn't look confident beating it off the bounce.
But for him to only have for the team to only have 8 turnovers, he had 4 in his 8 minutes. Outside of that, you had no turnovers really. 4 turnovers the whole rest of the game. That's pretty crazy.
Well, it's one of the reasons that the Arizona State game pissed me off so much. Arizona State was not pressuring you. They turned it over 15 times. When you play teams that aren't pressuring you, this is what it's supposed to look like. You're supposed to have 7, 8 turnovers instead of 15, 17 turnovers. Baylor was not trying to turn Cincinnati over, and Cincinnati didn't turn it over. How about that? Do that more.
I wonder how much though they beat it into their heads during that practice in Arizona. You've got to pass the ball better. You were not taking care of the ball, and tonight they certainly took care of the ball. There is no one else with a single point. So we'll look at Tyler McKinley, 0 for 1, 2 defensive rebounds, 1 foul, 10 minutes played, +7.
He gave good minutes.
I agree.
His knee is hopefully as this gets farther and farther from the surgery, this gets better. Probably not this year, but going into next year. I hate it because he's got a chance to be so good. And this thing is just lingering and being a real pain in the ass on his development.
Probably more a pain in the knee, but yeah.
You never know. There's nerves and it could shoot up. Mark, I'm going to be honest. I'm worried. Like he should be a stud by his junior, senior year, but the knee worries me. Look, the last person I was worried like this was Cash, and Cash ended up going on to have a really, really good career, but he was never the guy that I saw in AAU. Like he never played one game at Cincinnati where he looked like what he was as a prospect. he adjusted and adapted, played a little bit more old man game, used his hands and his quickness as opposed to his athleticism and his speed and his leaping ability, because that was pretty much gone. But I worry about that for Tyler. Like, I'm concerned that, this is going to be a thing that he might have to adjust. And I think he could. Like, I think he could be a guy that you play through in the high post and, is a little bit less of like a junkyard dog athlete type and more of a skill, I don't want to say finesse because that'll never be like who he is, but I think you get my point of like just the way he plays. I hope he doesn't have to adjust it. But I'm concerned about the long term. Like, this has been a thing all year, and it's day to day. Like, it's some days he feels great, some days he feels really bad and can't, he'll try to go and give you 5-6 minutes and then he can't go. I'm worried about it a little bit.
I wonder if he ends up having to have it cleaned out in the off season and just
I hope so.
After it. Yeah, just get back after it.
I mean, the thing is from what I heard, it was a really bad knee injury. So hopefully, like I said, hopefully it's just something that as it heals and there's time between the injury and where he's at physically, hopefully it all comes back together. But man, it sucks seeing him not. I like Tyler so much. He's such a good kid. I hate not.
When he's on the floor, he doesn't really struggle. It's just the injury has been the struggle.
Yeah, that's and think about how well he's looked, how good he's looked so far this year with a knee that's bothering him constantly. Like, think about how much better he could be if that thing could be 100%. Mark, I agree with you completely. I love everything about his trajectory if the knee gets, back to where it's not an issue. I don't know, because of what Mark said, Joe, and I agree, the potential, the basketball IQ, the hands, the moves, his rebounding, his willingness to defend. He's going to be a guy that any coach that comes in would want to keep. Like, there's nothing, and plus he's an incredible human. So there's nothing about him that I think a coach that comes in is going to be like, I don't see it with that guy.
Yeah. All right. Kirk Risa missed all 3 of his field goals. They were all threes. 1 assist, 1 block, 2 steals, 10 minutes played, +5.
I thought he gave good minutes. Considering his
defense tonight was the best I think I've seen his defense all season.
Yeah, I agree. We don't know with that shoulder. Now it's the off shoulder, but still, it's a lot of your shooting mechanics. Yeah. So hopefully, again, you can get him back to, being able to release freely.
Didn't practice yesterday, so he obviously knew what they were missing, and he toughed it out because that's what good players do.
Yep.
Keeping it moving, though, we will go Jordy Rodriguez, 0 for 2, both threes, 1 assist, 2 steals, 6 minutes played, +2.
He is a pest defensively. Like, he swipes the ball away. He's not a physically gifted defender, but he's smart. He knows when you're going to try to bring the ball in front of him, when he's going to have a chance to get a hand in and knock it away. I love his effort. I think he's tough, which is not something you often say about the Euros when they come over. That kid's got some toughness to him. The thing I think you're probably upset about, he had 2 what should have been pretty good looks, and he was fading. Like, he didn't just square up and take the shot.
Yes, they were weird shots. I didn't love him because it wasn't as if he wasn't open when he took those shots.
Yeah, he was open.
So,
and when he squares up, again, feet set, shoulder square, he's a knockdown shooter. So quit increasing your degree of difficulty. You don't have to impress the Russian judge. You just have to put the ball in the basket. So I will agree with you that I didn't like that he was like falling left a little bit, it felt like.
Yes, that's exactly it. And now he on the season is 6 of 27 for a guy whose superpower is supposed to be his 3.
Yeah. Some of that's on him. You gotta have the right shot mechanics if you're gonna shoot it well at this level. Did draw charge. I like Jordy a lot. Like I think there's a lot of like maybe not this year, but as a college player, I think he's got the chance to be like a really good rotation guy that by his junior, senior year as a starter and can get you, 8-10 points a game.
I've been mean to him tonight, but I will say that I think that tonight was the first time that it looked like the Big 12 wasn't too fast for him.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
It looked like speed slowed down.
That's hard when you're not out there, like you're just getting thrown in the game. Like, hey, it's like jumping out of a golf cart, right? A moving golf cart, and you got to get your feet going, and the chances are you're going to fall.
We've led different lives.
You've never jumped out of a moving golf cart?
Why?
Because you're 22 and playing golf with your buddies, and it's the 16th hole, and you've probably had 15 beers, and somebody decides to jump out of a golf cart.
I don't remember things that happened at 15 beers. My goodness. All right. And last but not least, Halvin Zella, no points, no stats. 2 minutes played, -2.
Got the old 2 trillion.
Sure.
Did they redshirt Atari? Atari is medically disqualified. He's not going to play basketball at Cincinnati.
I'd assume back in Brazil.
I know he was here for a while, but I don't know if he had
until the semester change.
Yeah, he hasn't been around, so unfortunate, but apparently his knee was Swiss cheese.
What else you got?
I got nothing, man.
1 point per possession for Cincinnati. Right on the nose.
Not great. Like that. I'm not going to pretend like that was good offense tonight.
No,
but
you got bailed out by Baylor's 0.85 points per possession.
I do think they played really good defense in the man and for the most part in the zone. There have been times the zone has been bad. Like if you're not locked in on the zone, it can get ugly. And I thought they were pretty locked in on the zone. They mixed it up. They kept Baylor off balance, and it was enough.
Yeah, you bothered the shit out of Cameron Carr. You bothered Yesufu. You bothered Powell early on, getting into foul trouble. You bothered a lot of their guys. Well done.
It's that Scott Drew did not have the magic touch this year because that roster is not good.
You bothered Scott Drew enough that he almost just tackled, almost speared a referee.
It was a moving screen. Like it was definitely a moving screen. You just got to let the play unfold.
I don't.
I'm guessing the ref blew his whistle just out of what the fuck just happened. Like what are you doing, bro?
I've never seen that ever. Have you? You've watched a ton of basketball. Have you ever seen a coach step onto the court to impede the referee from running down to talk to him?
I mean, it's not the first time I've seen it, but it's not frequent. Skilling's had 10 and 7. Smoked 2 layups. Just smoked 2 layups that were just easy. I was jokingly calling him today. I was calling him Baseline Dan. Because that he's at that point, like that's the only thing he can get drives baseline, backdoor cuts along the
tried to do
baseline.
He tried to do that reverse move a second time after he made it, and did not make it the second time.
It was good to see him.
I did bring up the Mike Tomlin Baltimore kickoff earlier in the show.
The one wasn't a backdoor cut, Dylan. The one was a drive baseline. Dan has a very quick first step, but everything he does, baseline Dan,
looked very familiar the whole game.
It looked like Dan Skillings. Like it was good to see him. I did talk to him before the game, dapped him up, asked him if he was bored in Waco. He said, "Yeah, there ain't a whole lot to do." I commend Jizzle on throwing Dan a pass late for his dunk in the open court.
Some things never die,
you know. But it was good. It was good to see Dan. I thought the booing was more fun and lighthearted. I didn't think it was like spiteful. It was and it was mostly the students kind of giving a little back and forth. But
was there any response from the Terry and Corey Blunt podcast with the intros from the student section?
I don't think so. No.
Get on it, Ruckus.
I generally don't pay attention to any of that stuff.
Well, I feel like you wanted to do paper bags. Instead of doing paper bags, grab that paper that's all over campus.
Start winning again.
Bring it back.
Start winning again. I care about that more than paper bags or newspapers or whatever. Start winning games. How about that? All right. That's the aftermath. Dave and I tomorrow, BCJ pod. Try to go at 8, might be a little bit later, depending on when Dave gets home from Will's wrestling practice. Bearcats win. We'll see you next time right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya.